Welcome back to Try to Triumph, where we fuel your journey to success. Today, we tackle the intriguing and practical subject of habits, the silent architects of our destiny. Drawing from the bestseller Atomic Habits by James Clear, we'll dissect 5 key insights into habit formation and their transformative power. These insights are beneficial for everyone, from entrepreneurs to homemakers, and can revolutionize your daily routines and life. Here at Try to Triumph, we aid in applying these theoretical insights practically, because small changes can make a big difference. Let's dive into the essence of atomic habits. Your journey to success is just a habit away. Let's look into the concept of 1% represented by a tiny snowball at the top of a hill. A small nudge sets it in motion, growing larger as it descends. This is exactly how marginal gains work. For instance, we have Jane, who begins exercising with 1 push-up a day. It's a 1% improvement from her previous 0. As she increases her effort over time, her fitness level gathers momentum, much like the snowball. Fast forward a year, Jane can now do 50 push-ups daily, a 5,000% improvement from her starting point. Yet, it all started from 1 push-up. The emphasis here is not on the quantity, but the process. Jane took small steps, improving 1% every day. Over time, these changes compounded into significant results. This is the magic of 1% improvement. Small changes that yield remarkable results over time. It's not an overnight success, rather a marathon than a sprint. Even the smallest steps can lead us to great destinations. Let's start with that 1% improvement today. Next, we delve into the role our identities play in forming habits. Identity, you see, is like the blueprint of our actions. Our habits, on the other hand, are the day-to-day activities that we perform, often subconsciously, that act out this blueprint. Now consider the story of John, a serial smoker for over 2 decades. John tried to quit smoking multiple times, but each attempt was futile. He tried nicotine patches, e-cigarettes, and even hypnosis, but the cravings always came back. Then, one day, he decided to change his approach. Instead of focusing on quitting smoking, he began to see himself as a non-smoker. He started to adopt the habits and behaviors characteristic of a non-smoker. He'd decline offers for a smoke, spend more time in smoke-free environments, and even started running, a habit he'd noticed among several of his non-smoker friends. John's story exemplifies how our identities can fundamentally influence our habits. By changing his identity from a smoker to a non-smoker, John was able to change his habits and finally quit smoking for good. He didn't just quit smoking, he transformed into a person who doesn't smoke. This is the power of identity-based habits. They go beyond surface-level changes and tap into who we are at our core. And the beauty of it all is that it works both ways. Our habits can also shape our identities. Every time we perform a habit, it's like casting a vote for the kind of person we are or want to become. If you consistently run in the mornings, you're casting votes for being a runner. If you regularly read before bed, you're casting votes for being a reader. These actions, these habits, gradually shape our identities, and in turn, our identities influence the habits we form and maintain. So, when forming new habits or changing old ones, don't just focus on the what, but also the who. Who do you want to become? What habits would that person have? Remember, every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Now, let's explore the 4 laws of behavior change. The first law is making habits obvious. Picture this. Sam loves to read, but he never seems to find the time. So he decides to leave books all over his house, in his living room, by his bed, even in the bathroom. It's hard to ignore a book when it's right there in front of you. By making his reading habit obvious, Sam is constantly reminded of his goal and is more likely to pick up a book. The second law is making habits attractive. Sam doesn't just leave any books around, he chooses books on topics he's passionate about: history, science, adventure. By making his reading habit attractive, Sam looks forward to diving into a new world every time he opens a book. Next up is the third law, making habits easy. Sam knows that starting War and Peace might be a bit daunting, so he begins with shorter books. He knows that every page he turns is progress, and by making his reading habit easy, he's more likely to stick with it. Finally, the fourth law is making habits satisfying. After finishing a book, Sam rewards himself, maybe with a sweet treat or an episode of his favorite show. This immediate satisfaction strengthens his reading habit. The reward, a form of positive reinforcement, makes him want to repeat the habit again and again. These 4 laws, making habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying, form the cornerstone of sustainable behavior change. They're not just theory, but practical steps that anyone can apply in their lives. Just like Sam, You can use these laws to shape your habits, to make them work for you, not against you. So remember, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. That's the secret recipe for creating habits that stick. With these 4 laws in mind, you can shape your habits to work for you, not against you. Finally, let's embrace the plateau of latent potential. Imagine a bamboo tree. For the first 4 years, it barely grows above ground. But in its 5th year, it shoots up to an astonishing height of 80 feet in just 6 weeks. This is the plateau of latent potential. The difference between our expectations and our reality is often because of this plateau. We put in effort, we work hard, but we don't see the results immediately. It's like watering that bamboo seed and seeing nothing for years. Picture this. A young entrepreneur, full of dreams and aspirations, starts a company. She works relentlessly, day in and day out. Yet despite her hard work, her business isn't taking off. It's like she's on a plateau where every effort seems wasted, and the vision of success seems like a distant mirage. That's where the concept of the plateau of latent potential comes into play. This plateau is where most give up, where dreams are abandoned. But let's remember our bamboo tree. The growth wasn't visible initially because it was happening underground, developing a robust root system strong enough to support its potential outward growth. Similarly, our entrepreneur was building a strong foundation, acquiring skills, making connections, and learning from failures. The truth is, progress is often silent and invisible. It's a product of the seeds sown today, watered with patience and persistence. It's not about immediate gratification, but about the belief in the potential of the unseen, the faith in the process. After years of seemingly unfruitful toil, our entrepreneur finally sees her breakthrough. Her company takes off. Her dreams start to materialize, and she realizes that she was never on a plateau. She was on a launching pad, ready to shoot up like the bamboo tree. So, the next time you feel stuck, remember the bamboo tree and our entrepreneur. Embrace the plateau of latent potential. It's not a dead end. It's a pathway leading to your latent potential, your unseen progress. Keep pushing, even if results aren't immediate. Your breakthrough might just be around the corner. To wrap things up, let's look at an inspiring example. Consider the story of the legendary basketball player, Michael Jordan. His journey to greatness wasn't an overnight success story. It was a story of consistent, incremental improvements. From a young age, Jordan was not the best player on the court. In fact, he was cut from his high school basketball team. But he didn't let this setback define him. Instead, he aligned his habits with his identity. He saw himself as a champion, and he worked tirelessly to become one. He embraced the power of 1% improvement, constantly refining his skills, his strategies, his fitness. Every dribble, every shot, every sprint was an opportunity to get better. He made his habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. He practiced relentlessly, making it an integral part of his daily routine. And he persevered through the plateau of latent potential. He understood that success is not always immediate. It's a result of consistent effort over time. Even when progress seemed slow, he kept pushing, kept improving, and ultimately, he triumphed. Michael Jordan's story is a testament to the power of atomic habits. It shows us that small, consistent actions can lead to extraordinary results. It's not about making massive changes all at once, but about making small improvements every day that compound over time. Remember, your habits are the building blocks of your future. Start small, stay consistent, and watch as you triumph over your goals.